right, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are. Welcome to a live town hall. Our guests today are clients of Hedera. So people actually building projects, enterprises building on Hedera. And this is hosted by the Hbar Foundry. So my name is Milan. We've got Jeremy, we've got Sushil, Solo, and Patricia. Jeremy, take it away.
Sure. So Hbar Foundry has been a great group, and it's one of the longest standing organizations within in that Hedera ecosystem. Started back in actually of August of 2020, so we're coming up on our 4-year anniversary here in the middle of the year. Started off with myself and my talented partner Robert Keynes. I'm co-founder of a little company called Ledgerama. And of course, we built the trusted and original wallet of the Hbar ecosystem, Walla Wallet. And we, in the early days, as builders, you're always running into issues and looking to solve problems. And in the very early days, we were running into a number of issues, and we found that that it was going to be best for us to rally as a community to help solve problems and set standards within the Hedera ecosystem. So myself and my partner Rob, Roland Ringenberg, Pablo Payard, and a handful of others. Jim Nasser was there in the very early days as well. A handful of us got together and just decided that we were going to meet every week and talk about Hedera, talk shop and do what we could to solve problems and set standards within the Hedera ecosystem. And it became a tradition. It became one of those things that sometimes, some Fridays, we were just talking about life in general and problems that we were going through, or things that we had discovered. But a lot of really great heady discussion about Hbar and Hedera technology, and it became a tradition. It's something that we've been doing it every Friday, and of course it's expanded. So in the very early days, it was common for it to be maybe 2, 3, or 4 of us on the Friday calls, and then just a week before last, there was some 29 people on the Hbar Foundry call. It was a really and it's a fantastic group. It's truly decentralized. It's international. We've got folks from all over the world that pop in, everywhere from Kenya to Canada and everywhere in between. So it's an international group, and we have some serious heavy hitters, some powerhouses in the Hedera ecosystem. Of course, Sean from Drop and Sushil are members and people that we see often in the Foundry. So it's a great group of people. Of course, Jim Nasser, the co-chair, is certainly a heavy hitter, former chief software architect for the CDC. And we get people from Hedera, we get people from the foundations, from the Hashgraph Association. You name it. If they're involved in the Hedera ecosystem, we've seen them in the Hbar Foundry. It's a great group, and I'm just proud to be a part of it.
Excellent. Yeah, thank you so much, GR, for that introduction. Let's start off by asking each one of you just a little bit of an introduction about yourselves. Who are you, and what are you doing on Hedera? Solo, go ahead.
Hey guys, am I coming through clear? It's okay?
Yep. Loud and clear, buddy.
Awesome. Sounds good. What's up, guys? My name is Solo Ceesay. I'm the CEO and co-founder of Galaxy, the social wallet. I should note that my co-founder is Spencer Dinwiddie, who is the newest Los Angeles Laker. We've been building on Hedera for a number of years at this point. And yeah, I guess a little background on our company. What we're most known for is being a Web3 social platform with a wallet that's enabled, or a supercharged wallet that does a lot of real world utility things. And so we applied that model to helping content creators monetize their businesses, similar to some Web2 businesses that you're familiar with. Things like Cameo, Patreon, these are platforms that a lot of people like to compare to us. But as of recently, as we've started to head down our roadmap, people have started to see the expanded skills toolkit of Galaxy, and really being that wallet that allows people to do things like pay their friend back for pizza, or do things like mint an NFT as easy as taking a picture. What our job is, and what we're super excited about doing at Galaxy, is really focusing on that user experience and allowing the Web3 journey not something to be possible, but something that's fun to do and easy. I think we have a saying at our company that's we want to bring real life on chain. That's essentially the best way for us to describe what we do. And so that's a little bit about us, but happy builders in the ecosystem. Super excited and thankful to be here, and obviously appreciative of all the great partners within the ecosystem Patricia, Sushil, everybody on this call I've had the chance to connect with, and obviously everyone listening as well. So that's it on me.
And also, I might mention that Calaxy's got some serious heavy hitters under their umbrella as well. Some of the core engineers are also longstanding members of Hbar Foundry, so I just want to recognize that as well. So it's been great to have you guys in those conversations week after week.
Absolutely. Thank you, Solo. Patricia, with Sensyntex.
Thank you. And thank you for the invitation. It's a pleasure to be here with such a panel of speakers. So I'm here from Syntax. Syntax, it's an Hedera marketplace for NFTs. Funnily enough, we started as an art project. It was not supposed to be anything that is today. Sam is the founder. He's a dev in real life for more than 15 years, almost reaching 20 at this point. And he started doing art collections just to have fun and to relax after being a dev full time in his life. And when people started realizing that he was a dev, they started asking, why don't you start a launchpad? And the Sentient launchpad came to life. And then the logical step was really a marketplace, because Sam wanted to do a lot of things that were missing on the space at the time in terms of features. And so it was the logical step from there, from the launchpad. We created a marketplace. Right now, we can proudly say we are the leading marketplace on Hedera. And hopefully, in terms of features, one of the most complete ones from all the ecosystems, because we tend to go around and to see other platforms as well. And I don't see any platform that is as complete as Syntax in terms of features. So I think that we are doing a great job putting Hedera out there in terms of what is possible to do, what it can be done. And this is our goal, essentially. Add as many features as possible to showcase everything that the network allows us to do at Syntax and for our users.
That's wonderful. Yeah, it's absolutely wonderful to see how you've been growing. I'll go like a little bit deeper into Sensyntex a little bit later. Just would like to hear from Sushil. Would you like to give an introduction about yourself?
Absolutely. Thanks. So I'm Sushil, co-founder, CEO of Drop. We've been associated with Hedera for a long period right now. We've been working with Hedera since 2017. Before Drop, I was the founder and the CEO of OpenCrowd, which was very much associated with Drop, and we worked with the Hedera engineering team to build the initial launch of Hedera. And many of you might also know our product Dragon Glass, which was the initial explorer that we had introduced. So we then, in 2020, spinned out a new company called Drop. Drop is an instant payment platform with a primary focus initially, I would say the initial focus on small value transactions. Right now in the market, there is no cost-effective way to make small transactions. By small transactions, I mean anything under $100 all the way to 1 cent. The most dominant payment method in the market right now is either cash or credit card, right? So there is no cost of it. So we built a platform on the banking rail and Hedera, right, as an alternative to cash and credit card, right? Consumers are looking for more options to make payments. And in addition to credit card, there is actually no other alternative, whether you want to make a purchase on the web, on Web3, or you want to make a purchase in person. Cash and the credit card is the most dominant payment method there. So we built a platform, Drop, which accepts payment both in fiat. You can make payments in US dollars, or you can make payments in Hbar and USDC. What I meant is in crypto. It's one of the most cost-effective platform out there, and we are currently focusing on the small value transactions. Right? We'll go into the details as we go further in this session. Yeah.
Excellent. Thank you so much. All right, so let's dive deeper in. Thank you all for introductions, and as clients, as builders on Hedera, we've got a lot of questions for you, of course. So Patricia, you've just you've given an introduction about SentientX, so and how it was created, and also my question is why is it created, SentientX? Can you tell me a little bit about that?
Yeah, so the why, we really saw. Okay, so the why. Sam was doing the art collections and minting on Ashexes at the time. It was his first minting platform. But then he decided to create a platform just to launch and mint his own collections. It was not supposed to be a launchpad for other projects at that point. But it worked really well. And I believe that the fact that we can pinpoint the why is the fact that we have a dev that is so connected and in love with the Hedera ecosystem. Sam says a lot, he would never build on anywhere else because there's no other network that would allow him to do everything that he does on Hedera. And this is essentially the why, because he started, he knew about it there. He started investigating to mint his own collections. And then he saw, okay, this allows me to do so many things. Now I want to build more. I want to showcase everything that the network has to offer. And this was what brought SentientX as it is today to life, in fact, because it was the fact that we can add so many things to the platform because the network is there for us to utilize, that doing a platform with just a couple of features makes no sense for the type of network that we have, because our users, and this space is devoted to the users, our users want more. They want to be able to do bulk listings. They don't want to be listing one NFT one by one. They want to grab 10 NFTs, 20 NFTs and list them all. And we can do all of this. For example, we had a little issue a few weeks ago, or actually started a few months ago, with Radar. Radar was not picking up the volume from Hedera correctly. And the reason why it was not doing this is because since our marketplace has 95% of the volume, they were not being able to capture our volume because they don't use bulk actions yet as a metric. And since we have bulk actions, they couldn't pick our volume. And in days where we had, for example, $15,000 in daily volume, they were showing us at $500, $400, because they couldn't pick everything from our transaction, from our Hashgraph record. So we had to talk to them. We elaborated what happened, the fact that we had the bulk actions and everything. They were able to fix this. It's not super fixed yet, but at least now we are showing a value that is closer. And it's also good for the Hedera image as well, because it was showing a really low volume for Hedera as a total, because we have 95% of the volume. So right now it's fixed. We were able to work with them, a great team over there as well. And we worked with them to fix this, because this is important, and this is part of the why. We want to showcase the Hedera network. We want to showcase everything that the network has to offer. And this was the main motivator, the main goal for SentientX. And people ask, why don't you go cross-chain? Is not something that Sam would even think right now, because he still wants to add so many things more to SentientX, as features, to the launchpad, even not only the marketplace side, that it makes no sense to think about going to other networks and build on other networks just to say, okay, we are cross-chain. So the why is showcase Hedera and these features.
Yeah. And it's a beautiful thing to see that, we see with many builders here that there's a lot of intrinsic motivation, right? Because there's so many exciting things to discover with Hedera. And now recently, I believe you had like one sale order including 489 transactions in one sale. So that's really, really amazing. Yeah, that's really, really, really good. So yeah, well done on that, and thank you for that wonderful answer, TR.
Yeah, and by the way, Patricia, congratulations on the growth. I remember when SentientX came out, and it was just a handful of artists and creators and programmers on a small Discord channel. and to see the growth there, all the way. I mean, wow, 95% of the volume. That's really impressive. So congratulations on that.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So Solo, good to see you. We hadn't seen you in a little while. It was fun to get to hang out with you there in LA back in October, but hadn't seen you in a little bit. So let's talk a little bit about Galaxy. Of course, the Galaxy is is kind of a mishmash, the creator galaxy, so to speak, and it's striving to become the social network for creators. So I'm interested to know, where did the idea originate? Where did the idea for Galaxy come from?
Man, that is an interesting question. It's a bit of a backwards answer, but I'll do my best to do it justice. But like I mentioned, my co-founder is Spencer Dinwiddie, and he's been in the blockchain space for a long period of time. He's also been making waves in the blockchain space, for better or for worse, for the last 5-6 years as well. And so he fell at a lot of swords. A lot of the involvement that you see from creators, athletes, sports figures in general in the space, was really started, with him and a couple other key guys that were really early in the space. But prior to Galaxy, I was an investment banker. I focused on securitization. So things like commercial mortgage-backed securities, residential mortgage-backed securities, all that different type of stuff. And I get a call from my brother one day, and Spencer and my older brother are best friends. And he mentions to me that the nonsense that I do for work every day is something that Spencer is looking to do. Pretty similar stuff with his NBA contract, and he's freaking out. He's not sure about it, so we should probably chat. And what he was getting at is that my, Spencer at the time wanted to securitize himself. So he became the first NBA player to tokenize himself via his sports contract. He took some of the after-tax proceeds of his contract to securitize himself. He got sued by the NBA in the process, ended up winning. But that really started this idea of being able to be, the influencer, the creator as the asset. And we saw a much bigger opportunity to not only monetize someone's, sports contractual value or music royalties, but even one's time, right? And so when you think about things like Cameo, Patreon, especially, time dating it back to when we started, which is around 2020, the creator economy is exploding, and it is exploding now. We're seeing the remnants of that. And so Galaxy really started as, we were going to be a capital markets engine. I was a banker. I was going to securitize, XYZ person's music library. That'd be great. But like I mentioned, there was an even bigger opportunity to monetize, person's time. And we thought that the peer-to-peer network was the best model to actually try and build a marketplace on top of. And, the wallet interaction, we thought that was the easiest way for, an individual or a person to create a business or build a business on top of an online social graph. And so that's kind of what you see Galaxy today is, being able to really take that peer-to-peer model and gamify it in a way that solves some of the core issues that we see in the world of social media today. But moving forward, as I've hinted at before, and what people that have been following the project for a long period of time come to notice is that if you kind of put your head down and then you look up at Galaxy, you'll notice that it's doing, different things than what you might have understood, right? So like late last year, Spencer and I went, on CNBC. We were lucky enough to send 500 USDC on the Hbar network on Hedera, which was super exciting. But we sent that as easy as a text message within the messenger of the Galaxy app, right? So when you think about Galaxy, is it kind of like Telegram? Is it kind of like Cameo? Is it kind of like Patreon? It's kind of like all of these things, but really Galaxy is just Galaxy. It's a wallet that does things. You can make money if you're a creator. You can send money as easy as a text to your friends within the application. We launched a feature that allows you to easily, text people from within the app, SMS texting, so you can invite people. So if someone that doesn't even have a wallet now and you wanted to pay them $20 of Hbar for a pizza, you can send them, a text. It shows up in their iMessage. They click a link, they sign in, boom, the wallet populates and the assets hit the wallet, right? And so we're really thinking about finding ways to increase the usability of Web3, things that Sushil was talking about, micropayments. A lot of these use cases for the technology are largely out of control because the usability or the user experience or the practicality of the technology from the actual usage of it, is still lagging relative to the overdevelopment of, the interest in the asset class and the technology as a whole. So I know that was long-winded, but yeah, obviously the Galaxy story has been one that's been developing for quite some time.
Right. So what would you say? So when you kind of look at Galaxy, and I know, like you said, Galaxy is Galaxy. It does its own thing. But of course, people are always going to look at it in context of other similar products in the market. So if you had to sum it up, what would you say that problem that Calaxy really solves, it's unique to Calaxy versus the other products that you might call your competitors?
Yeah, I mean, I think our superpower is Chad Weston, our chief design officer. He's just the best in the industry. Like I say that, yeah, I think our usability, the flow, right? We're PWA, right. Even with the way you access the application. We're not in the iOS App Store. We're not in the Google App Store. And the reason why we did that is because we wanted to really take some of the liberties and challenge some of the standards for how people construct a wallet. Like, do I think that, right now we have a multi-trillion-dollar asset class and no one's using it. Like, when was the last time anyone on this call paid their friend back with crypto? Probably all too long for all of us to be experts when peer-to-peer payments is one of the best use cases for the technology, right? So for us, we're really trying to tackle those issues, at an industry level head on.
Excellent. Well, I certainly hope that it continues to grow and progress as it has, and I'm sure that it will. Thanks for that, Solo.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Yeah, and it also reminds me, if you're talking about UX, Solo, how you made it so fluent with accepting, for example, an NFT, even if though the wallet is not yet associated, the token ID, it's just like accepting it, but actually you're signing the transaction to associate the token. So it's a wonderful UX and UI what you've built. Very exciting. Sushil,
sure.
So you're, as you mentioned earlier, your team, Open Crowd, has been around on Hedera for a while, also built Dragon Glass. And then, to my knowledge, is the only one, and maybe that's not true, but the only one where you can actually search on the memo. So if you're looking for a specific word in a memo, you can actually use Dragon Glass for that, which is very exciting, which helped me personally to track a lot of accounts with the last year's Explorer on 9th of March to create my big diagram. But so that's something I really remember from Dragon Glass as well. So Drop was created by Open Crowd. Can you tell me how this came about? So you mentioned about like the whole credit card industry, and so how came the decision about to start Drop?
Sure, absolutely. So just a little brief history. This is sort of my second payment platform. In the early 2000s, I was the architect of a major peer-to-peer payment platform for a major bank, right? And so our focus on financial services industry has been for the last 25 years. And then when we started working with, fast forward to blockchain and distributed ledger, while we were working with Hedera on building a platform itself, if you look at the Hedera platform, it's really conducive. It is almost perfect for micropayments, for payments, right? When you build a payment platform, what you look for, you definitely look for a cost effectiveness. You look for reduction of chargebacks. You look for all of those qualities that will reduce the cost of the payment, right? And there is a need in the market. There was a need in the market in 2015. There's a need in the market in 2024, and we'll continue on to build an extremely cost-effective platform, which is also instantaneous, right? And Hedera really does offer you that, right? So the cost effectiveness is something that Hedera's flat structure, payment structure offers that. And the story behind Drop is we always thought, at least in 2019, as we were launching Hedera, that Hedera was going to build a micropayment platform, right? So we always wanted to build it, but we thought, because there was a little pilot that was built by Hedera to show how Hedera could be utilized to build a micropayment platform. So we always thought Hedera was going to build it. And then we realized in 2020 that they were not planning on that. Was just like a sample use case. So we decided to take on us to build the platform, right? So Drop is an instant payment platform. That's our vision. Settlement needs to be instantaneous. It's already happening in the digital world. We are trying to bring that to the fiat world by partnering with banks. I mean, you will always see Drop would say instant payment, pay by bank. So on the banking rails, and that's why we are partnering with the banks. I mean, that's the major story behind Drop is we're definitely working with the crypto industry. We have a Wallet Connect integration. We have an entire NFT API built into Drop. Drop, Drop essentially is a crypto wallet, right? You don't see that. It looks like Venmo and Zelle, but really it is a crypto wallet. It uses digital signature. It uses everything that Hedera offers, whether it's NFTs, whether it's STS, whether it's SCS. We use all of the APIs in Drop. So one of the driver behind Drop and the utilization of or usage of Hedera for us was a couple of things. One is the flat low payment structure that Hedera has. It's an extremely powerful thing because you can predict what the cost is going to be. And with us being a cost-effective platform, we have wanted to make sure that the cost is deterministic and you know what it's going to cost. That was one thing. The second thing that you look for when you build a payment platform is scale, right? You want to transact at a high scale, and especially micropayments, which are small payments but a lot of payments. You need scale, and then the third thing that you need, because the platform is built for the web, is you need instant notification of the payment, right? And all of these three things, if you look at, Hedera just offers out of the box. It's not something that they it's not something that they offer now. They offered that in 2019. It's speed, scale. So in terms of our story about why we built it on Hedera and what was it, Hedera was just asking for it. I mean, it was like a perfect platform, distributed ledger, where we could build this payment platform. One quick thing, one of the other things that you look for when you build a payment platform is you want to reduce the cost of your infrastructure, right? Because that's how you reduce costs. So we are using Hedera as a ledger. I mean, we are working with the banking industry, and they love the fact that we use digital signatures and we use all of that security that Hedera offers, right? But we're using Hedera primarily as a ledger, and that makes a big difference for us. That reduces my cost of my infrastructure, right? So that's our story. You know, we built this platform. You can download the wallet. You don't need to download the wallet. You can also just do a guest checkout on our platform. You can make payments in person. We have a point of sale device. We have the web interface, which all of you have seen. We have recurring payments, which people like. You can make payments to NFTs. And we have the whole Wallet Connect. So we have basically built a completely comprehensive platform where you can make payments in fiat, right, using different devices. We've also built this thing, which is very exciting to many of the financial institutions, is you can embed our platform and white label it instantly. It's a multi-tenant infrastructure, something that you don't see on our website, but it's something that we've been promoting to many of our banks. So we really here, our story was to build a cost-effective platform. And as we saw the properties of Hedera and the need in the market, which is 50% of the market right now, 50% of the payments in US are under $25, and there is no cost-effective platform. So the need for a platform like Drop, and I'm sure there's going to be other platform, is only going to be more and more severe. Because right now we have decided in US to become a cashless society by using a credit card. The rest of the world has decided to use either crypto or they're using pay by bank, right? So the need in the United States for a product like similar to Drop is really severe right now. Anyway, that's the backdrop of Drop.
Very exciting, Sushil, and you know, I believe you also have a Drop SDK. For developers. So those are all very exciting things. And in terms of the users, or would you say that it's really consumer focused?
So the usage, when we launched the product, and it still continues to be very consumer centric, our approach has been for retail adoption. We've gone towards more towards banking industries and the financial institutions, as opposed to just focusing on the crypto world, just because there is a lot more users who are aware of fiat than crypto. So we are looking at the regular consumers. But there is something else which I was going to wait till the end of this session. We are now also built a product, because there's a real need in the market, is B2B, business to business. So again, another stats there. The most of the payment products in the world are US are consumer centric, right? But the small and medium businesses, right, do not have a good B2B, solid B2B, cost effective B2B platform. So for the last quarter or so, we've been focusing a lot on B2B, where you can send an invoice and accept a payment, and you can make that payment again in crypto. And when I say crypto, I mean Hbar and USDC, or you can make payments in fiat. And we want to offer both our businesses and our consumers as many options as we can. Okay.
Very exciting, Sushil. So yeah, we're obviously looking. We have a close watch on what Drop is doing, but also obviously what Sentientex and Galaxy is doing. All of you three are very striving forward in this innovative industry. Solo, I just noticed that you both have a deer at the background as a painting, which is very, very cool. Both Patricia and Solo. How can you share about how you arrived to the decision to build on Hedera and maybe also let's just start with that one. How did you kind of get to Hedera in that case?
Yeah, I would say that Sushil actually hit on the out of the box aspect of it very well, right? Like when you think about something like Galaxy and the fidelity of the product that we're trying to build and the audience we're going for, and when you really think about retail products, like when you think about the industry as a whole, and I said when you think about 10 different times, but thinking about the industry as a whole, right? The tooling that exists here is mainly for people like ourselves, like the people on the call, builders, right? Like there isn't a lot of retail products that, like, if you had a conversation, a mind-blowing conversation, we've all had it, right? We were at a party, we chatted, someone asked you about Bitcoin, they asked you about crypto for the first time, and you gave them the best explanation of your life, right? And they're all excited, they're worked up, they want to get involved, they want to join Web3. The problem is there's a shortage of things to do, practical things to do that people can analog to their normal lives presently today with Web3, right? And a lot of that lies in the fact that the tooling and the aspects and the out of the box tools for builders to build end user experiences haven't quite made it up to snuff comparatively to like the Web2 world. And that's like what Sushil is telling out of the box. And so when you're thinking about building something like Galaxy, it's important that when I buy a video call with LeBron James, it settles instant. It's important that it takes 2 seconds, or if I want to micro tip somebody, 30 cents for some of the content that I'm seeing in the feed because I want to tip them or send the creator a tip or whatever, it needs to be practical to be able to do so. If not, the benefits of this technology are hardly realized. And so when it comes to, why Galaxy chose to build on Hedera, it's definitely that practicality aspect. And then even from a regulatory perspective, coming from the banking world and just seeing how vigilant and forward-looking the governance model that Hedera has associated with this technology. People always talk about the fact that it's asynchronous, Byzantine fault tolerant, it's high throughput, it's all these great things, which, that's great. But there's a lot of scalable blockchains. There's a lot of different things. I think the best, the best part of Hedera's ecosystem is the innovative governance model, right? The corporate, like the council, like that's the essence behind it. And I think the regulatory implications of that are very much so seen now, right? When you're seeing all these different, layer ones being called into question by the authorities that be, you can see that Hedera is taking a lot more of a prudent approach to that. On top of that, I mean, I think you just have great builders within our ecosystem. And I think the community as a whole really supports and gets around these projects. And while we might not be large in size, I think the fact that we're so well orchestrated, or we work together, we're so well coordinated, like I've talked to everybody on this call before, like I think because of that, the possibilities are endless for our community. So we might be smaller than some, but mightier than most, right? And so I think from our perspective, building on Hedera made, all the sense in the world. And, I think moving forward, even thinking about how from leadership, like things like DREC and industry leading, industry-wide problems that Hedera is looking to lead the charge and solve in partnership with its competition is, just speaks volumes about the type of attitudes that people have here when it comes to building, products for the future.
Absolutely, yeah. So Sushil mentioned, the flat fee, the scalability. You mentioned also governance, the community support,
Absolutely.
and the innovation side of things. Of course, that's all excites us very much. Yeah, thank you for that, Solo.
All right, so Sushil,
Yeah.
so I think we can tell, from some of the things that have been said, that Hedera was the obvious choice. The scalability, the speed to finality, all those things, the security, so it was kind of a no-brainer. Micropayments has always been one of the leading, most exciting use cases, and certainly one that Hedera supports. I love that you mentioned their early trial that they had for their micropayments. If anytime somebody mentions that old trial, the daily timestamp, I get nostalgic, because if you can remember the daily timestamp, you're definitely a Hedera and Hbar OG. But since you decided, since you've really gone, really going all the way with this network, what are some of the most exciting achievements that you've had since launching Drop? There's been some exciting stuff in the news. You guys are always leading the charge and on the forefront of this ecosystem. So what are some of the most exciting achievements of recent times?
Absolutely. I think it depends. And there is an engineering achievement that we are happy about, and then there is what you see in the market. I think the most exciting and kind of a shocking for me was when we got, we are an instant payment platform, and that's what we're focusing on. And the big thing this year is going to be instant on the banking rails for us. Is the mention of Drop and our association with the Fed now, which happened in August. That was kind of shocking and exciting for us, because we got mentioned and we are actually in the showcase of the Fed now directory, or their showcase. That I would say, in terms of marketing, was a huge achievement. In terms of engineering, I think we had done a lot more than that. We had completely built the web aspect of it, the Web 2 aspects of it. The big achievement that we had in the last 2 or 3 quarters was we have the Wallet Connect integration that we built. I won't say it was a top, but it was something out there that we wanted to make sure that users of Drop can also make payments using the Web3 Wallet Connect with any of the NFT marketplaces. The second thing, which you would see more and more, is the ability for us to keep the product, to keep the platform as secure as it is right now with digital signatures, but for you to able to make payments without using the digital wallet, right? We haven't promoted that much, but that's a major achievement. It's a lot of rewiring we had to do, so that the friction, it's all about reducing the friction when people make payments, right? It's all about reducing the friction when people sign up. So there was something major work that my team worked on, so that you can make a payment, right? Again, through your bank account, through your credit card, through your digital currency. You can either make it through a digital wallet, but you can also make that on the web. So those are like some of the big ones. We have always had the C2B, and then we continue to work on that. But we have everything. It's a completely comprehensive platform. Everything from payments to refunds to redemption, where a merchant can actually pay you a refund instantly. All of that has been built. So it's a pretty comprehensive platform at this point. And once we add the B2B, it's going to be even bigger than one of the top payment platforms that you see in the market. And you know what the top platforms are, right? From PayPal to Venmo. We have all of those features right now in the market. So there's a wide variety of big achievements that the team has delivered, and we are about to make some announcement for 2024.
Great. Yeah, OpenCrowd has always been top shelf on the engineering side. And not only incredible business acumen,
Thanks.
and hats off to you, Sushil, for that, because I know that you're instrumental in basically all aspects of OpenCrowd. But Walla Wallet relied on Dragon Glass for a long time. And my partner Rob is one of the most fastidious and talented engineers that I've ever met, and he has an incredible amount of respect for the team over at OpenCrowd. I mean, you guys have always built incredible products, and I know that you will continue to do so. So just, just happy and proud to be associated with your team. It's always been a pleasure.
Sure. No, thanks. Yeah.
Absolutely. Patricia, so you talked a little bit about how you got into how Syntex kind of got into Hedera and how it was really the network of choice. What are some of the main challenges for you and the team, and then also, so let's talk a little bit about the challenges and then some of the exciting milestones.
In terms of challenges, I think that is still the fact that we have a small community, like Solo mentioned, and it's great from one side because we have all the community working with us to improve the platform, to make suggestions, and this is a daily thing, and we absolutely love that. On the other hand, the volume is still low, and you guys know that every single person here knows the trouble of building something on a platform with a low volume, because then we have issues funding ourselves, as it's normal in this type of situation. So this was our biggest, and I believe our only issue, in fact, still the lack of volume, so that we can have enough volume to fund ourselves fully. So
absolutely,
I believe it's the biggest one. In terms of advantages and milestones, the advantage, like I said, the close proximity with the community, the fact that they help us so much along the way with everything that we do, with all the features and milestones. The one that I mentioned before, the bulk actions, are definitely one of my favorite ones, because like Milan said, we had a user that sold 490 NFTs to several buyers. The only thing that the user did was select the 490 NFTs, click instant sell, and then on the back end, Syntex divided that into 64 smaller transactions, if I'm not mistaken, so that they could be accepted by the network. And then with that, each seller got their NFT, they paid the corresponding Hbar, everything was done in seconds. And fee-wise, it was 15 cents. So this is just insane that someone can sell 490 NFTs for 15 cents in terms of network fee. So this is definitely one of our biggest milestones, and one of that makes me prouder. In fact, it's the bulk actions, bulk listing, bulk selling, bulk delisting. People can do everything in bulk inside of Syntex. And we have a new one that could top that for creators. Sam finished working on it yesterday, I believe. It's quantum listing, and we call it quantum because it's really insane. Creators can list, for example, 2,000 NFTs at once or 3,000 NFTs at once. Just select byte rates, give a price to each group of NFTs. You need to group byte rates, give it a price. It can be an entire collection sold by the exact same price if you have a 3,000 NFTs collection, for example, because on Hedera, we really have the habit of the launch pad. But this is something that it was not really something that would happen on Ethereum, for example. I came from Ethereum, and a project would either launch on their own website or they would launch directly on OpenSea. There's not a launch pad on OpenSea, for example, or any Ethereum platform. A creator would just deploy the contract and then list on OpenSea, and that's it. People would buy from there as if it was a launch event. And we give this possibility to creators as well. If they want to list a collection directly onto the marketplace so that they are the ones selling directly to the consumer, they can do that. We just need to approve the collection, make sure that there's no issues with it. So now if we approve a collection to be listed on the marketplace, and an artist can list 3,000 NFTs at once, just say the price that they want to list the NFT, state by grouping, by traits, by characteristics, and that's it. Click approve, it's listed. That's why we call it quantum, because it's really big amounts in terms of quantity. So, but this is really super new. Only one project could test this one. There will be more news on this tomorrow, but from this one, a lot more will be able to test this. And this is our most recent milestone, and one that I think that creators will really love and enjoy for sure.
Great. Well, you heard it first here on the Hbar Foundry. Thank you for sharing that little tidbit. And yeah, definitely, as far as challenges, we feel your pain, the addressable market and the volume. There's so much. There's so much to be said for the Hedera network in terms of cost effectiveness and scalability that, we're often kind of wondering, okay, when is the absolute deluge of retail going to come online? And I think it's coming, it's just, but, we're still, because we're kind of all, entrenched in this ecosystem, it feels like things are moving really slowly. But I think if we step back, we'd actually see that things are clipping along, quite quickly. There's a lot of innovative stuff going on, and the world is catching on. It takes a while for these innovative and new technologies to really get traction. So I do think that is happening. And again, thanks for sharing that really new, that hot off the press milestone with the Hbar Foundry. We appreciate that.
It's a pleasure, of course.
So these teams are teams that are building on the Hedera network. Essentially, I'll call them customers of Hedera, so to speak. Let's move a little bit into discussion about retail. What is retail, and how does it differ from other audiences? I think each of us on this call, has at least some focus on the retail aspect of things. Sushil, how do you see everyday users interacting with Drop, and then as far as their daily interaction? Of course, you mentioned that everybody's aware and familiar with fiat, maybe not so much crypto. And then, so as users get more experience with Drop and they start to use it, how might they experience crypto? Is it something that's going to be essentially in the background? Do they have options? Let's talk a little bit about that.
Yes, absolutely. I think I said this several times in this session that we have a strong pay by bank component. So our focus has been, in terms of adoption, has been the retail adoption of banks. We built a product which can be embedded in a bank, and then banks can offer that to their consumers and their merchant. That's our distribution channel. And you'll see more and more announcements from Drop as we partner with different banks. So the way the experience is right now is a retail customer would download the Drop wallet, right? And they can make payments in USD, in US dollar. And they also get an option to make a payment. We have the concept of wallet in a wallet. So when you download a wallet, you really, just like you have a checking account, savings account, think about this as multi-currency accounts. And you can just create an account yourself. Hey, I want to make payments in Hbar, and you get an Hbar wallet and you can make a payment. So our experience, or let's just say how we're driving towards the market, the market, is we're trying to get the common person, because Drop is used for everyday purchases. That's the whole. So the adoption is going to be from the retail customers, and the merchants are going to enable that because it's an extremely cost-effective platform. If you make a payment using Drop, the merchant makes a lot more money than they did. In some cases, they can make 10 times the money that they make right now, or the transaction fee is 10 times lower. Mm-hmm. So we've taken the angle of, instead of just focusing on the crypto, let's focus on the larger market, and that's the market we're going after through the banks. So you're right, Jeremy. The experience is going to be, I downloaded Drop, and by the way, it also has USDC. It also has Hbar, and we offer USDC both from Ethereum, Avalanche, and Polygon. You can pay from any of those things. So wow. We've had. You asked me about major achievement. I should have mentioned that. So you can have USDC in all those blockchains. So the experience is going to be like what you just mentioned. Is a retail customer downloads it, and crypto will be an option offered to them. Once they're comfortable making payments in fiat with a wallet, when you offer something else, it just gets easier. We think that'll be. This is how Hedera, according to us, this is how Hedera will get more popular, and USDC will become more popular if you offer that as another option in your wallet. And that's how we think adoption will happen for us.
Excellent. Looking forward to it.
Great.
Thank you, Sushil. Patricia, an NFT marketplace, why is it such an essential piece of infrastructure? Or is it an essential piece of infrastructure?
I do believe so, because if you don't have a marketplace on a network, users are left with peer-to-peer transactions, or they can use secure trade on Hashpack. But I do believe that most people would go to peer-to-peer transactions, and this is where the danger lies, because you can be sending your NFT to someone that you think you can trust, and they never send you Hbar to pay for the NFT, so you lost the NFT. Or you can be doing a transaction with someone that you think that they are a legit person, and it's a cloned account. This happens all the time. It's not only on Hedera. This happens on all networks, where accounts are cloned, so that people are approached. They say, listen, I want to buy your NFTs. You are selling 20,000 Hbars worth of NFTs, or 50,000 Hbars worth of NFTs. I'm going to buy them all for the price that you are offering. Let me add you to an account, to a Discord chat with someone from a project. The person will help mediate the transaction. This is always a scam. No one from a project will ever help mediate a transaction. Just think about it. People from projects are always so swamped and running around. It's impossible for them to be taking time from their day to help user A and user B doing a transaction, user C and user D. It makes no sense. So every time that someone tells you, hey, listen, I'm going to add you to a Discord group with the person from Project X because they will mediate the account, block the account. It's a scammer. Don't do it, because this is how a lot of people are scammed in the Hbar ecosystem lately, and sadly, because it's so much easier and safer to use secure trade from Hashpack, to use a marketplace. So I believe that, yes, the marketplace is definitely something vital in any NFT ecosystem, because it brings the layer of security, because there's no way around this. You send the NFT, you receive the Hbar, the platform takes care of everything. There's no way for you to be scammed. Just not going to happen. So it's really the safest way to transact NFTs every single day. So definitely, yes.
Absolutely, yeah. And we've seen scams not necessarily rising up. They're always there, and they will always be there. So absolutely, security is top number one. And obviously also, with the volume, as you said, why it was important for DebRater to depict it correctly is it also attracts a lot of other new people to the ecosystem. Yeah, thank you for that, Patricia. Solo. So what's kind of the path? I mean, if I am someone who's completely I don't know anything about crypto, right? I mean, that's one of the barriers we all try to solve, right? That often the typical Web3 is like, hey, you have to download this, you have to do that, you have to key. What is a key? Private key, where do I store it? So how does that path go for someone who is not a crypto user? How does he get into using crypto, or I should say better, how to use Galaxy, which uses Hedera, uses crypto, uses NFT?
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think what the group has, rightfully pointed out in some of the challenges with building in a more nascent community, I wouldn't say nascent maybe, but like a more smaller community, is the fact that discoverability and inroads to the technology is a little bit more challenging for builders here, right? So if you're going to choose to build on Hedera, I think when you're thinking about ecosystems and things that are vital, necessary ingredients for the retail ecosystem to flourish here, it's like you need bridges, you need, bridges to bring in, capital, bring in liquidity, additional eyes to the ecosystem. But I would also view like social bridges as a thing. Galaxy is kind of like a social bridge, right? Like your journey to Galaxy shouldn't really be predicated on any love for crypto at all, really, but anything in general, right? Like whether it's Hedera, whether it's Ethereum, whatever you are, your journey really shouldn't be predicated that. And so for us, like I think our SMS invite code is a great example, right? We're when you think about wallets and you think about crypto, a lot of times they're the first thing people might tell you in the example I mentioned before, if you had that great conversation, you want to get somebody started on their Web3 journey, the first thing you do is you tell them to do a wallet, get a wallet. And that's great, but the wallet, you have to then figure out where to take the wallet with you to get that end utility. There's no sort of equivalent concept in the world of Web2. You don't just get an email and then plug your email to XYZ platform like Facebook. Like they wouldn't tell you that you go to Facebook and create an account. You don't go to your email, create an email, and you obviously have that stuff, but that's not the default user journey, right? And so I think when you think about us, we've been taking some of those different liberties and really questioning, how do people get to Calaxy? Is it from, an Instagram post from a creator? Yeah, probably. Is it from social posts on X? Maybe. But is it also from an SMS text invite from your wallet that can also call your friend, that can also be monetized, that can also take pictures and mint NFTs? I think the best way to describe it is the utility that we're really solving for is kind of the utility that we think wallets need to have for everyday users, like very retail people, the next 100 million people who don't care about this technology at all and may never care about it. For them to come here, like the wallet has to do all these things, right? Your wallet should be able to call your friend. It's like the idea of having a phone that can only make phone calls today in 2024. No one's going to use those, right? Your phone should be able to text your friend. Your phone should be able to be a web browser, email, communications device, all those different things. The utility of what made the iPhone great is the fact that it does all these great things. And so the way we see our wallet is we want to enable not just users, but projects, right? To be able to do all different types of things, create their own token-gated communities from their wallet, right? Like thinking about multi-sig chat management, multi-sig wallet management in a chat paradigm. Like what's the difference between us creating a group chat and managing a wallet that way versus using some of the tooling that exists currently, right? It's all those different ways to create the friction, bring the friction down to zero so that you can bring all these users here, because the journey, the user experience is what bringing people here. And you want to make sure that you as an ecosystem, or Hedera as an ecosystem, which, gratefully we have great projects. You have things like Karate Combat that are bringing people who have no idea about crypto ever to this ecosystem. They're using tokens. They're using the technology. And so for us, similarly, we want to make sure that when we're building our product, when it comes to the inroads and the ways in which people discover us, it could be through a text message about, getting $20 from your pizza, right? But it doesn't need to be, the user journey that got us all here. The user journey that worked for us isn't probably going to work for the next 100 million people, right? Like the seed phrasing, all the different types of stuff that we're dealing with wallets today, that worked for us. And we can acknowledge and accept and be thankful that we're all happy with it and it got us here. But what we need to really think about as an industry is challenge ourselves, ask the hard questions. Do the next 100 million people care, or do they give a damn? Probably not, right? And so when we think about Calaxy, we're really building that user experience with the end user in mind, and not just the user, that's us, but literally the person on the street that has no idea what Bitcoin is.
I love it that everybody on the call is really focused on reducing friction and making it super easy for the next generation of people to come in. So we are getting really close to the top of the hour, and I know that we've touched on some of some future stuff a little bit, but just real quickly, just maybe in a couple words, maybe a sentence, I want to just talk. If we look into our crystal ball, what's exciting about 2024? Some plans. I'll start with Sushil.
Sure. Very quickly, I don't need a crystal ball. It's something that's imminent, immediate, that we're going to make an announcement. We've been working with a major bank to release, it's one of the top 10 banks, to release instant payments, which is real-time payments, RTP. And we've been working with them, and that would be a huge achievement for us, because we have instant payments on the crypto side, because that's natively what crypto does. We've not had instant payments at the bank. It takes a while to get it done. So we had a sponsor bank, and we partnered with them, and we'll make that announcement very, very soon. And that will actually help the Hedera ecosystem too, because now we're going to be in mainstream. That's where I want my retail consumers to use real-time payments, make payments in real time, just the way you make in crypto. So that's
Excellent.
a big thing that's happening. Okay.
Looking forward to it. Patricia, how about you? Over at
Well,
SentientX.
for us is the fact that we are already seeing more volume. So we really believe that this year is a year that will bring a lot more volume towards Hedera and towards retail, something that we all want and need as a network, of course, because retail is like the greeting card of any crypto network. It's where it first starts. And here on Hedera, we kind of did the other way around. We started with institutional, and now we are trying to bring retail on board. So for us is really the fact that we are seeing more volume. We know that we are going to continue to see more volume and growing volume towards 2024. And in terms of the project, like I mentioned, quantum listing, it's something that's going to be announced tomorrow. And the fact that we are going to build a sentient world, it's a really gamified experience that is going to relate with Centex, our HTS token that we have already live. And it's already a reward token for people that utilize the platform to trade NFTs. So something that we are really excited about later in 2024.
Excellent. How about you, Solo? What's going on with Galaxy in the very near future?
Yeah, mine's short. I would just say that, us being called the social wallet, I think expect the unexpected. If you would have asked me in 2020 if I thought that we'd build a wallet that can call your friend, I probably wouldn't have told you that, right? And so I think the idea is really thinking about usability and how do we get the next 100 million people in here. And so we got some stuff up our sleeves, but super excited to obviously roll it out to the community and the industry.
Excellent. We want people to support these great projects. Sorry, Milan, I'm just going to go ahead and throw it out there. So Sushil, if people want to find out more about Drop, where do they go?
We do need help from the community. We are also looking for investors. So please do contact me or just info@drop.cc or just contact me directly. I can send out my email, sprabhu@drop.cc. It's drop.cc, just Yeah,
excellent.
we are looking for investment. So anyone who can help us with that, we are at the brink of, we have a rocket and that needs to be taking off in a big way with this instant payment. So thanks for the invite, Jay.
Oh, of course. Patricia, how about you? How do people learn more about Syntax?
For us, it's on our website, syntax.io. And there you can see everything that we have in terms of marketplace, auction house. I even forgot to mention the auction house, but we also have an auction house for users. The marketplace launchpad, everything is there, Syntax.io, or on our Twitter profile, also syntax.io. People will be able to connect with us. There's our Discord server. It's on our X profile. You can check our Discord server. We are there pretty much 24/7. There's always a team member around willing to chat, and we really need our users to support us in the sense that not only with ideas and trading NFTs on the platform and trusting us to do their trades instead of going OTC and doing peer-to-peer, because they help us with fees and they help the projects that they trust as well. Because if you do an OTC trade, the project is not receiving royalties either. So if you love the project, use the marketplace, give royalties to the project as well.
Syntax.io. Got it. All right. Solo, how about Creator Galaxy? How do people find out more?
Yeah, I mean, you can find us on X at Galaxy App. The Creators Galaxy Protocol is at TCG Protocol handle as well. And then myself, I'm out there. I'm everywhere you can go. I'm probably at your local Equinox on a Peloton bike. So if you ever find me in your local city, I'll be out. I'm always ready to have a conversation, but in all seriousness, obviously appreciate all the support from the community, and thanks for having us.
Excellent. Excellent. This has been a wonderful conversation. Milan, I'm going to go throw it over to you to close this thing out.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Sushil, Patricia, Solo, for being here and talking about your projects and giving your insights. So this town hall had been about the Hedera client, Hedera customers, those who are building on Hedera. Next town hall will be on the 26th of March. It will be a deeply technical town hall. So it will be with Richard Hbar. He's the Vice President of Software Engineering at Swirls Labs, and with Nana Silfikondua, Senior Software Engineer Manager. So that will be very exciting. Also 11 a.m. Eastern. Would you like to know more about the Hbar Foundry? Go to hbarfoundry.com. Send us a message. You're more than welcome. And for now, thank you very much and have a great day.
Thanks, everybody. Have a fantastic week. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you.
Thank
Goodbye.
you.
All right. Until next time.